I'm Chance, and this is Cheers. That's how we're starting off from now on because we are officially rocking. This is the 7th episode, and I decided no more bullshit. Jumping straight into the thick of it. And what is that today? Let us see. First off, my phone number, 858-621-3877. Give me a call. Let me know what's up. I want to hear your guys' voice, and I will respond. I'm going to put it on air, and I'm going to tell you guys also what is up with me. We're going to exchange some words and go on our day. 858-621-3877. And I'm telling you right now, the best way to get my attention is by doing anything except telling me that there's a bomb in my house. There's no bomb in my house. Both of us know that. No point in calling me and telling me that. One more time, 858-621-3877. Secondly, the world is tough. And sometimes in order to allow yourself to grow, you gotta let other people go. It's true. It's just how life rolls. Third, India and China at a deadly standstill. But I'm Chance Cablay. This Cheers. And this is the actual intro. So guys, what's up guys? Alright guys, I'm Chance. Everyone has a podcast, so guess it's my fucking turn. I got 3 fully loaded cabooses. Cheers. Let's get this bitch rolling. But yeah, $200,000 a year, right? We know where he's coming from. Go to the beach. Big booty Latino. Illustrating what's wrong in our society. Authentic, handmade, original Chance Cablay. I want humanity to stay on Earth. This is Cheers. Today we are sipping tequila, Casadores. I'm gonna brush over that quickly because I'm getting straight into the topic. Self-growth is very important, and sometimes it's hard for us to notice, but the people we surround ourselves with can prevent us from growing. Usually it's the people closest to us, whether it be friends or family. They might be stuck in a mindset that is different from your own, and it prevents you from moving on. Say one of your friends tells you they want to hang out, they want to go to a bar with you, and you say, no man, I gotta do some homework or something. And they're like, why don't you do it tomorrow? Let's go to the bar, let's drink. They are showing some deterrent from your progress. Instead of you bettering yourself, they would rather you hang out with them so that they are satisfied. These are the type of people that you have to audit. And it could take a while to realize exactly who they are. Some are more obvious than others, but once you do, you need to start to make an exit plan. Fuck out of there in a hurry. And I had this realization about one of my friends earlier this week. I really had it a couple of years ago, but I didn't want to admit it because it's hard. These are people that could have been in your life for years, maybe even decades. You've relied on them, and it's really just come to the point where, as selfish as it may sound, it's not that they don't provide a benefit, but they're actually posing as a detriment to your life and your well-being. I'm going to use a pseudonym for consideration. Andre Guzman. He's one of my close friends. I've known him since 3rd grade. In the 3rd grade, when everyone moved on to math, me and all the other kids, Andre would be stuck practicing his ABCs. And occasionally, the teacher would ask me for my help to tutor Andre, to show him the ropes, show him the ropes of life. And so me and him would go in the back room, and I would help him learn how to read a paragraph, something along those lines, something very easy. I had to explain it to him, walk him through, show him how to ride a bike pretty much. And our friendship continued until the end of elementary school because he lived directly behind my grandparents. And I was staying with my grandparents at the time, so it just worked out. We're friends, we hung out, we talked. same age, you know? And then in the 5th grade, when we graduated, both of us went to different middle schools. And so we kind of separated, lived our own lives, and I'd say around late junior year in high school, he ended up moving directly behind my grandparents' house again. For what reason, I have no idea, but he was there. And one day I was going out, say, to get some food, maybe some Chick-fil-A or something, and he was standing outside on his, it's like a old 90s white Civic, eggshell color, and he was leaning on it, smoking one of those clove cigarettes. And so I went outside and I joined him. At that point in her life, I would say, or at that point in his life at least, I would say he was at his mental peak. He seemed, at his age, he seemed to operate at his age level. And I'd say both of us had matured from when we last knew each other in the 5th grade. He was selling cocaine then, and I was in high school compared to being in the 5th grade. So both of us had made some progress. And that was the point where we rekindled the relationship, the relationship of friendship, and we started hanging out again. We would drive around as Andrew would do all of his cocaine, and I would watch and partake also until he stopped. And one of the reasons why he stopped is because his mental well-being started to deteriorate, and it was quick. Over the last couple of years, he went from operating as an 18-year-old to back at that, I'd say, almost 5th grade mindset. And it's been tough for Andre. I think it all started when he went over to the East Coast. He went over to his aunt's, and I asked him why, and he verbatim told me to go and party. This was Washington, D.C. I have no idea what they have to do in Washington, D.C. But he told me that he went into a artifact shop, like one of those antique shops. It happened to be an Oriental antique shop, and he was compelled by the China, but he ended up buying this Power Stone, the Spirit Rock. And one thing led to another. The merchant also talked him into buying the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And I did my research into it. Turns out the Tibetan Book of the Dead is really just, it's kind of reiterating the golden rule. Treat other people how you want to be treated. But he interpreted it wrong. So he started, I don't know if it pushed him over the edge, but he started hearing voices. And he would tell me about these things, and one thing led to another. He got locked up. He was in a psychotic ward. And I don't know exactly who let him out, but someone let him out. And now we're coming to the point where society is in such shambles that he is also allowed to drive. What happened was, earlier this last week, I get a call. I'm doing homework, being studious. Get a call, it's Andre. And he says, "Hey, Chance, what are you up to today? Let's go do something. Go talk to girls." And I say, I can't, man. No chance. I'm doing homework. He's like, all right, I respect that. We hang up, go our separate ways. And then 2 hours later, I hear someone blasting this loud dance music in front of my house. And ever since Andre had moved out and been sent to these wards, I'm the only one playing loud music, and I'm not the one playing, so I know who it is. I hear the doorbell ring. My cousin's down there. He answers it. Andre is there with a cardboard box. My cousin says, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" Andre says, "I'm doing good. Is Chance home?" My cousin, glad to be off the hook, looks at me and says, "Yeah, right here." And he sicks me with him. So I go down there, work my charm, look him in the eyes, and I say, "What's up, man? What's in the box?" And he says, "Food. From my family to yours. From our farm to your family. I look in the box. First off, this food was not from a farm. It's canned food. 2 zucchinis inside. Why he gave this to me? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. And I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth, so I take the box graciously. Say, thank you. I really appreciate this. And then he says, does that mean you have any free time? You want to hang out? And I say, no. Nothing has changed from a couple hours ago when I told you I cannot hang out. When I cannot go outside. I have things to do. And majestically, he walks away. He said, okay, all right. I'm going to go do something else. I said, all right, thank you again for the food. And so then, the next day, he does it again. What does he do again? He calls me in the morning when I'm studying. Why? He wants to do something that day. That was bad. But he wants to do something. And I say, no chance. No can do, man. Got things to do today also. And he says, okay. Swallows his pride and just hangs up. 5 hours later, same thing as yesterday happens. He pulls up blasting loud music. I know it's him. And then my phone starts to ring. Guess who it is? Andre Guzman. And I pick up the phone and I answered it with an annoyed tone. First off, because I know he's in front of my house. And I don't know why he likes showing up places. So I say, hey, why do you just show up places, man? It's not cool. And he responds, I just had to get out. I wanted to see if you could hang out now. Annoyed, I respond, nothing has changed from 5 hours ago. I'm still doing things. You gotta understand this. You can't just show up at people's places. They're living lives. They're doing things. And he says, so you can't hang out right now. And I say, no. What do you not get? I'm doing homework still. He has the audacity to say, all right, I'll wait. I am at a loss for words. I don't know what in the fuck is going through his mind. And so, just astonished, I say, what do you mean you'll wait? I know what he means. I know what he means. And he starts to explain. He says, I'm going to wait till you're done with your homework so I can talk to you. And I say, all right, I have 30 minutes. I'll come down, I'll smoke a cigarette, we'll talk, and I have to get back to work. So, because I'm not supposed to be socializing, I drive my car around the corner of the street, park, I hop in his. And as soon as I get in, he looks me in the eye. His pupils are huge. Not in terms of being on any adulterants, but the way he's opening his eyes, he looks crazy. He stares me straight in the soul, and he says, you would not guess what I just saw. I say, first off, where were you? Where'd you just come from? I want to get the context of the story. And he repeats himself. He says, you would not guess what I just saw. I was at my cousin's graduation party. And I said, okay, what'd you just see? He says, I saw The Last Supper. Knowing Andrew is a little bit out of it, a little out of touch with reality, I kind of let that brush over my head, but he doesn't. He repeats, I just saw The Last Supper. And Jesus Christ wasn't there, it was a woman. And all of my cousins turned into the disciples, but they are monsters. I have no idea where out of left field he's coming from. But I ignore it. I'm trying to have a nice day. Why would I get myself involved with this? And so, I'm just like, okay, man, we're here now. What are we going to do? Andre is someone that loves being in nature. His favorite place is the beach. Another day I'll tell you guys different stories about when he wants to go to the beach and what he does at the beach. Terrific. But He wanted to go to the beach. And so I say, okay, I got an hour. I got an hour to kill. Let's get this done so I could get back. I have better things to do, bigger fish to fry. And so we start heading down the 805 South and playing music. I ask him, what beach are we going to go to? And he says, I think actually we're going to go to downtown. I say, okay, what are we going to do downtown? And he says, well, I don't have any shoes. I stop him right there. I look at his feet. He's wearing socks. And so I think I give him the benefit of the doubt and I ask, does that mean your shoes are in the trunk? And he says, no, when I saw The Last Supper, I just had to get out of there. No stop. I just had to leave. No time for shoes, I guess. And so we're here, and I say, well, what in the hell are we going to do in downtown? Literally, the only place we probably could go without you having shoes is the beach. And he says, we could just cruise. And so I actually figured that might make it easier on me. Don't have to get out of the car. Don't have to expend any energy. Let's just cruise. And so we go downtown. It was worse than I ever thought it could be. I get that in downtown you're not supposed to be gunning it. It's dangerous. But you're also supposed to be driving the speed limit. Like any other residential area, it's about 25. And Andre is going a steady 10. He's in the mid lane of Broadway and First. This is the first day the bars opened up, so the city is bustling. And guess what else? There's still protests going on by the waterfront of San Diego. So there are cops a-buzzing. And everyone is moving except me and Andre. We're doing the very opposite. Because anytime there was a semi-decent looking female, which there is a lot of in downtown San Diego, Andre would roll to a stop. No stop sign, no stop light, just a stop in the middle of the bustling street. And he would stick his head out the window and rubberneck looking at any girl. That would take about 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And trust me, the first time he started driving like this, I hit him in the chest. And I'm like, man, I don't mind hanging out with you. I don't even mind cruising with you. But you gotta cruise legally. You gotta drive legally. First off, I don't know if you should even be driving. And second, it would just be very inconvenient if I had to get an Uber from downtown to my house. So just drive legally. And he brushes it off. He thinks I'm joking with him. I'm not joking with you, motherfucker. We're downtown. There are protests going on. Drive legally. And he continues doing it. And then at some point, I'm just like, okay, man, we got to go home. Like, just take me home. I've had enough of this today. Seen enough, had enough. Let's go. And he's like, all right. But he takes the long way out of downtown. He tries to get a reaction out of me. I think that's what the whole day was. He was just literally trying to get a reaction out of me. And just like a child, the more he pushed and I refused to give him that rise, the harder he pushed. And he realized I was pissed. But he kept on pushing. He kept on pushing. And so we're downtown and I kind of give in. I don't want to piss him off. I don't want him to take the even longer way out of San Diego to Mira Mesa. So I just shut my lid. And I let him drive. And he tries to joke around. He pulls up to a stop. And there is a very attractive female with a boyfriend. And he says, you think we could take him? I take it as a joke. And so, being friendly, I say, yeah, I think we could take him. And then give it 5 seconds. And I'm just sitting over there looking around. And out of the corner of my eye, I see Andrew cock up and punch the steering wheel. He goes like, and he starts working himself up. He starts making himself mad. He just the thought of beating up this guy simply because he has an attractive girlfriend, he works himself into a rage. Something's wrong. I get it. Something is wrong, and I just want to be out of that car. I don't trust the situation. And so I remind him, yeah, man, we got to go home. So he takes me home, and he ends up taking the long way on the freeway. I don't know exactly where he tries to go, but we end up back home, and I had to park my car around the corner. As I'm driving it back to my house, we have to go the same way because he lives directly behind me. As I'm driving behind him, he ends up rolling again to a stop. The sun is setting right now. People are on the street walking. They're getting in their physical fitness, and I lay on my horn. Say 30 seconds of just, and he is not moving. I don't get it. He's not doing anything. He's just staring straight ahead. I don't know who gave him the permission to get behind the wheel once again. So I just pull around him, and as soon as I pull around him, he goes. And I'm furious. I am furious. At the end of the day, guys, I need to let him go. Andre Guzman, it's not the best for me. It's not the best for you. When we hang out, we're not benefiting each other. In fact, as selfish as this may sound, you're providing a detriment to my growth. And sometimes it just has to come to that, guys. Sometimes we just have to admit when something is not good for us, as close as they may be. As long as you may have known them as good of a friend as they may have been in your life. If they are preventing you from growing and maturing and becoming the best person you can, you gotta drop them. Be gracious and majestic about it as everything else in your life, but you have to learn when to just drop. And so I'm working on that. I haven't really got into how I'm going to completely do that, but that is what I'm working on. Right now, I'm moving on to the next topic, which is India and China. So, India and China engaged in a border dispute which left 20 Indian troops dead, and so far there is no word from the Chinese side. Apparently, India has accused China of not respecting the line of actual control. China claims the same, so as of right now, this is all hearsay. All I'm saying is India, no one to pick a fight. By some allegations, China has single-handedly crippled the international economy. This is the best example of foreshadowing I've seen in a long time. And personally, I'm strapped into my seat to see what's next on the ride. But I repeat, India, know when to pick a fight. I don't care how many people you have. Just know when to pick a fight. And if you go for it, like the late great, not late, but the great comedian Brian Callen once said, if you go for it, pack a lunch, because it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Maybe a couple days, and I'm just telling you, India, don't do it. Don't do it. As mad as you may be, look at the light at the end of the tunnel. There are things to look forward to in the future. And one of them is not being in a world war with China. I just don't see that being a good idea. If it's not a good idea for the US, if it's not a good idea for Russia, it's not a good idea for India. Trust me. Just no one pick a fight. And I was reading this article off the BBC. There are a lot of articles. I will post the article link in the description, but it was a short current news day for me just because a lot of the events are the same right now. I'm watching the Epstein documentary. That's wild and bewildering. So I'll get to that in a future episode. But that's pretty much it from me, guys. Just remember, your own self-growth is the most important. Treat that as the priority. Don't treat others' leisure as the priority in your life. And the second, the world's crazy right now. Be ready for whatever it has to offer. And finally, I am Chance Cablay. This is Cheers. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Helps me out. It really does. But take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Let's get this bitch rolling.
But yeah,
$200,000 a year.
right?
We know where he's coming from.
Go to the beach.
Big booty Latino.
Taco.
Illustrating what's wrong
Wow.
in our
Hang out.
society. Authentic, handmade,
Yeah.
original
We're having a
Chance
good
Cablay.
time.
I want humanity to stay on Earth.
This is Cheers.